Hello everyone, this is Rex Red. I am back with another EZ3D tutorial and with some polka. Always good to have some polka. Polka, polka, polka time. Okay, we're not going to take up too much of your time here. This will be a fairly chunky tutorial. Let me see. I have to check and see. Now we're going to switch over to just one moment, actually, and I'm going to just check and make sure my browser is ready for prime time. Okay, just one moment. We got to get the browser back here. Okay, over here. Make sure we're over here. And, oh, come on. I have like so many monitors now that I have to, this is like very difficult here. Well, there we go. I think I've got it. Snag that thing and bring it over here. And then we gotta just, I should have done a few more things before I got here, but here we are. And we're gonna open up our Daz Install Manager. Okay, what are we gonna do today? Today is about Hexagon. Daz does not have modeling tools, at least not very many, not enough, put it that way. They have a few modeling tools within the program, okay? And so we end up with clothing and just things that are wrong with our clothing. And if you are a portrait artist where you just mostly make portraits from the head kind of to the bust, then your clothing, you know, yes, you can have problems with your clothing. Yes, you can have things that you might want to edit and all, but it's not so as obvious as when you have a figure who is standing around and they're doing something like they have their arms up like this and the under part of their shirt just looks terrible. Now, I know there have been a lot of tutorials on this subject, but I'm going to go into it a little more in depth and really kind of map out a process, a plan for how you can, probably the easiest way to fix this stuff. Okay, I've shown other ways where because you want it foolproof. You want it so that when you do the editing and you bring in either the clothing or the morph, that that it works and it's not that difficult. There's not too many steps. So when you think, oh, I can just bring this into Hexagon, edit it, bring it back, and I'm all set. And so you want a process that is going to be easy for you. Now, the problem with Hexagon using it right out of the box is that Hexagon is broken. From the version that they give you, Hexagon is not free, but you have to buy it. But when you buy it, it's free. So, but you have to buy it in order to get it free. And so you go to the Daz store and you search for Hexagon like this. And what you do is you find this Hexagon. It says Hexagon Beta. And when I click on this, this is the Hexagon Beta. And there's also the Hexagon 2.5. And they both say free, but you have to add them to your cart and you actually have to purchase them. And I don't believe, well, you may not have to put in any kind of credit card or something like that to purchase Hexagon. And Hexagon is very powerful. Very powerful. So It's not even nearly as powerful as Blender, but it's up there. It's not, I would say, I don't want to just judge exactly, but also there's this this particular bundle here. It's right now $73. I think I don't want to spend more than $40 for it, and it's $200 regular price. Right now it's on a 65% sale. You got to do a little better, Daz. I'll buy it when it gets to $40, and it's probably worth, you know, the $200. But I'm poor. I can't afford things like that. But this is a huge, huge tutorial that shows you how to do just about everything you could imagine. I think I might be. No, I guess I'm okay. Distorting here in my channel, but it seems like I'm okay. So yes, this is your source for learning how to do just about everything you could imagine in Hexagon, and in the end, you end up making this massive scene that's like an underwater scene with coral. And look what they made. I mean, they made this. I don't know that they made the figure herself. She was probably from like a Genesis 8 figure. She was, I think, a Genesis 8 figure. This is massive. But the thing is why buy this if Hexagon doesn't work, okay? If it doesn't work right. And so I'm going to show you how to get it to work right, okay? Now, when you buy Hexagon, usually you get this Hexagon 2.5. You put it on your computer. This program doesn't work right. First of all, it's 32-bit. And second of all, it's full of bugs and errors. It was made to work on Windows XP. And so that's how really, really bad it is, okay? So I'm going to have a sip of my decaf. Welcome, welcome. So welcome, people. Thank you for coming in. Now, okay, I'm not really showing you what I'm doing here. So we're in the store here, and this was the program that I showed you, this Submerged Inside bundle. And as you can see, this bundle, I fixed my screen, so now I'm no longer have the bottom part of my screen cut off. I figured out what was doing that. All right, so look how beautiful this artwork is and all. The tongue, look at the textures on the mermaid's tongue, I guess. I'm not sure what that is, but and the hair, they did do the hair in this is a massive tutorial. If you want to make stuff like from scratch and bring it and have it just ready to use in Daz, this is awesome. But the problem is that when you go to use Blender, it's full of all kinds of problems. Well, Daz, a few years after putting out Hexagon 2.5, they went and rebuilt Hexagon. I don't know that they rebuilt it from the bottom up. I think what they did was they just went through this tedious process of converting all of the code in Hexagon to 64-bit. Okay, so what you do is you put this Hexagon beta in your cart. You have to have them both, okay? And they're both free. So what you want to do is you want to put, if you don't have Hexagon, you want to put the Hexagon 2.5 in your cart, and you want to put the Hexagon beta in your cart. Then it will go into your cart, and you run through the purchase process, okay? And once it's purchased, then you can go into your, I'm not going to go into mine, but you can go into your account settings here, and it will show you all of your serial numbers. And the Hexagon 2.5 code will work with the Hexagon beta, okay? Now so you go into your account, you find the code, and you copy it into your clipboard, and then you paste it into Daz Studio, and then it will pop up and ask for the code when you go to use Hexagon, and well, I guess you actually type it into Hexagon when it Daz opens it for you. So now the how to install the beta. Now the Hexagon 2.5 will just automatically install itself through your install manager, but in order to install the beta, which is the only one that works, the Hexagon 2.5, don't even try using it, okay? Because you will get so frustrated. It's not 64-bit, and it just runs horrible on a 64-bit machine. It runs buggy. It crashes. You will lose your work, okay? If you do make something, you will lose your work, okay? So what you do is you come into your ready to download area of your Daz Install Manager. You click Display Hidden, and then you click Download Filters, and you go down through here and you select in this, you want to select Publishing Build. I would just select all three of these: Public Build, Publishing Build, and Private Build. And then click Accept. And then when you do that, you will see the Hexagon beta and a bunch of other things. You'll also find the Daz beta in there. I keep the Daz beta installed on my computer because sometimes while I'm rendering something, I still want to go into Daz and work on something. So I will keep the Daz beta on my computer. And so I keep them both here in my taskbar so that while I'm rendering something, I can just open another instance of Daz and start working on stuff. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to have the Daz beta also on your computer. And so then once it's installed, then you have to go into Daz Studio, and we're going to go here now. And as soon as Daz opens up, and what is it? Is this opening on my other computer? Oh, there it is. Yay. So then what you have to do is you have to tell it to use the Hexagon beta, the 64-bit version of Hexagon beta. So you go into Edit, and you go into Preferences, and you scroll all the way over here to the end where it says Bridges. There's little teeny things here. And you scroll all the way to where it says Bridges, and then you click this location thing, and you will find there are two versions of, there's one version of Hexagon 2.5, I guess it is, and that's in your program files x86, okay? Now you have the program files x86, and then you have program files on your C drive. And the program files x86 is for 32-bit programs. If you were not aware of that, that's where 32-bit programs get installed on your computer, is in program files x86. Now, the program files, the one that just says program files, that's for 64-bit programs, and that's where you will find your Hexagon 64-bit. Remember, it's not in the program files x86. It's in the local C drive program files, just program files with nothing after it. And then you'll find Daz 3D, and then you'll find the Hexagon public build, and then you select this, okay? And when you select it, you click Open, and that will open that here. And then you will have the public beta, the 64-bit public beta, and then you click Apply, okay? And it will be, and then Accept. And then Daz is now linked to your Hexagon is now linked to your Daz Studio. Now, there is another so what does this afford us to do? Okay, so we can close this down. That was the Install Manager part. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, now what I suggest, now you can work on your clothing with a dev figure, but You don't want to do that, all right? What you want to do when you go editing clothing is you want to use the figure that you're going to use in your scene, okay? So if I'm going to so let's just say, okay, you don't want to go up here and get like the Genesis 9 Dev figure and use that, okay? Because when you switch out that piece of clothing for another figure, it's not going to fit right. The weight maps are going to distort that clothing all apart again. It's not going to work. So what you have to do is take your Daz figure, and let's pick Arno. Let's just because I was going to pick him, I'll pick somebody else. Doesn't really matter who you pick. It's always good to try something different so that you, let's pick Dalton, all right? I haven't used him in a while, and we'll put him in the scene. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get him in a pose where his pants, I know I've done this before. We're going to work on some midsection areas that might be a little sensitive for some people. Just consider that we're doing this for the furtherance of science. So that is what this is about, okay? Is about showing you, because unfortunately the pelvis area of your figure is the area you're going to run into problems and in Daz, and there's no way to fix them in Daz. And so this is why this is why I keep making videos of this, is because every time I encounter this problem, I have to go again and think about it. Then I run back through what I kind of learned before and find out all kinds of different stuff, that this didn't really work and that doesn't really work well, and all of these kinds of things. And so now we have Dalton in here. So what we're going to do now is put a pair of pants. We're going to put a pose on Dalton first. So we have all of our poses. Remember last time we went through and found all these poses and everything. So I'm going to find a pose that gives me where he's kicking, where he's putting his foot up in the air and doing some kind of kicking motion. Okay? And this will work. Okay? All right, so we're going to put him in this pose, okay? And now we've got him in this pose. Let's get him out of Iray, so at least we can keep it clean as possible until we put the pants on him. All right, so then we're going to go into pants. And really, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter what pair of clothing, okay? We're going to clothing, and we're going to go to pants. And it really doesn't matter what pair of pants you put on him for the most part, because they're all going to do this, okay? It's just the way Daz is. It's like you put a pair of pants on your figure, and they, so I'm going to try a pair of pants that I haven't used. Let's see. Let's, leaf pants. This is, let's try these. Let's just put them on. Sometimes you get a pair of pants that are really well made and they just don't do it. So now it looks kind of okay, but when we get down in here and you look at this, notice the rip there, how it's all kind of torn and ripped. And when we go into Iray, okay, you're going to see that this is simply unacceptable, okay? It's just horrible, okay? And this is why, and it's going to, I'll take these pants off and I'll put another pair on and another pair, and I will show you that this problem happens. Okay, we're under the floor. So this problem happens with, okay, can I put a light on here? I guess not. This problem, it's just, you can't have your character sitting and have this thing, whatever that is, that's this big stretch thing just right there. It's like, don't look at that, okay, in the figure. You know what you can't just tell your your art, connoisseurs that are looking at your art, don't look at this, okay? Just look at the rest of the figure, okay? And that's what happens is you see so much art in the Daz gallery that people just don't fix these areas. They're not fixed. And so they look horrible. So we'll go out of Iray again, and let's just take these pants off and try another pair. And we're going to see it gets worse sometimes, okay? Let's try these LJ jeans. I don't know which one. They both seem to be the same thing. I don't know why they're in here twice. Oh, it would help if I selected Dalton. All right. And those last pants were really, really nice. I mean, look at the beautiful pattern and the artwork that went into them. But this, and it's just is terrible. It's absolutely hideous. Okay. So this, whatever that is coming out of there, it doesn't look good. And so it has to be fixed. Okay. These have to be fixed. And so let's, I have a seam here, which kind of scares me about doing this pair, but, and this pair is black. So what we're going to do is, I think we'll take and find another pair, maybe one that's gray or something. These ones, let's try these pants. Just something that's a little easier for my eyes to see. And probably these gray now, probably going to have, and so every once in a while, something works, but these didn't, okay? So you can see that this didn't work. There's obviously, you just can't, now, you can't have this kind of anomaly here in your clothing. Now, this is in Iray. I'm underneath the floor again. So look at this. You see, it just looks horrible. It's not the way it's supposed to look. He's not supposed to be having something hanging there, okay? It's just not, okay? And so this part for some reason kind of looks like okay a little bit, but then we got something hanging here. It's just wrong. It's wrong, people. So since we now have Hexagon and we have the 64-bit Hexagon program linked to Daz Studio, what we can do now is we can just go to this, select Dalton. Now, you can switch him, okay? You can go to Dalton. All right, what is probably a good idea to do, especially if you have a weak computer, is to go to Dalton and just delete all of these Genesis 9 things, the eyelashes, well, let me go back in it so that I can show you. Delete the brows, the mouth, the eyes, the tears, the eyelashes. Just get rid of all that stuff for now, okay? And then, and you can also do that you can leave them here. Let's go Z. Now, you can leave them here and delete them in Hexagon. And so what's kind of nice is that when you bring the pants back in and all, you don't have to take and put them back on your figure. Okay. Now you can switch your figure. We go to parameters. You can switch them to base. Let's just do this for the heck of it. So you go from your figure to high resolution to base, and they don't look too much different. Maybe the ears might look a little bit squared off, a little bit tiny, but they're not. He looks pretty much the same to me, okay? So why you do that? It's because everybody else tells me that you do that, but I've not done it before and it still worked. Okay, so, but the thing is it's easier to work on this figure when it's in a base when it has less geometry in it. So you can always come back in and switch him back to the HD high def, to the high resolution, and it won't mess up your morph. At least from my experience, it won't mess up the morph. Okay, so I think I'm going to still grab a different pair of pants. So we're going to go out of because I want to make sure I have a pair of pants that I can show you a few other tips about with, and that would be in here maybe. These pants, let's see, where are they? These jeans, back to class. It was these ones. This business casual. Let's see what these look like. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see we have a pretty serious problem because this is number one. All the texture's just ripped and stretched apart. Okay, and so we need to fix this so it doesn't look like that. Okay, so it looks like it's supposed, like it looks correct. Okay, and this doesn't look correct. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just go select file, and we're going to go send to Hexagon, and Hexagon should open up. Now, I don't think there's a way to get rid of this. Hello, Art. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We are waiting for all these things to show up on our character. Okay, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Thank you, people, for coming in, and thank you for the likes. You guys are awesome. So it takes a little moment here. We could go into wireframe just for a moment, and we're going to delete the eyelashes here, delete the tier, just to make things so that Hexagon doesn't have to work so hard. Okay, now the way you can tell is right up here in the top of the corner. If you haven't watched the beginning of this, you have to. I am well as also. Yes, yesterday was my birthday. So yes, happy birthday to me. Okay, Sigmund theme starts the program off again. Yes, it's the Sigmund theme. Hello. So yes, it is. So what we're doing is Hexagon. You have to install. If you have Hexagon on your system, you have to install the 64-bit version of Hexagon because the 32-bit version does not work, okay? It was made for Windows XP, and even the 32-bit public beta doesn't work. All they did was just convert the 32-bit into the regular build. They could just converted that into the 32-bit beta, and then when they went to the 64-bit beta, they fixed stuff. Okay, so you have to have the 64-bit version. So we're going to get rid of the mouth, and we're going to get rid of the brows, and all we have now left is Dalton and the casual pants. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we're going to go, which one is better? Okay, so you can see now that he is in this low resolution mode, because you can see by the way his body looks here. We can smoothen him out a little bit so it just looks a little better. Okay, so now there's one other thing here. When you go here, and you can also go to this help about Hexagon, it will tell you, but up here in the top corner, if you get it right, it's going to say 64-bit public build beta. Yes, I had an awesome, awesome birthday. Yes, it was my birthday yesterday. Angus, I think he's okay with not having a birthday twice a year. So I can speak for Angus on that one. So we're going to open this up now. In this import export, it says okay, view 3D. Okay, what would this be? Selection advanced, I think, import export. Okay, Daz Studio Bridge. Now, I don't have this in here, okay? And for some reason, it just still works. So I believe that you might need to have this in if you're sending geometry from here into Daz Studio. Now, you can go here to the desktop, go to your PC, go to local C, and then you would go to program files, not the x86 one, and you go to Daz 3D, and you go to Daz Studio 4, which you wouldn't really want the public build, and just select that and say OK, and then it's in there, okay? So that's that part. Now what we get into here is fixing this geometry. Now we're going to go into UV Paint. Now I know you've seen this done before, but I'm going to show you a few other things that you maybe haven't seen. Oh, thank you for the the birthday congratulations. Oh, thank you, Art, for the happy birthday. Thank you very much. I had a wonderful day yesterday. It was quiet. I got a lot done, accomplished. And so now to move around here in the scene, you hold the control key and the left key and drag, okay? And it rotates you around and then you use the middle mouse wheel to kind of move things around. So you got the alternate key and the left mouse button, and that kind of rotates you around. They're kind of hard to do, these controls, but not really when you figure out there's only two of them. Now you have to be really careful here. Okay, Z, I think I just pulled this close back. All right, so is that, okay, and you scroll on the mouse wheel and it brings you in. Now, the problem I can see right here is there's a problem right here where it's been pulled. Welcome, Habib. Welcome, people. Thank you for the 4 likes. I appreciate them very, very much. So what we're going to do is it says right here, see this one that says pinch? Okay, this is a very important tool, okay? So this pinch tool, okay, we have the pants selected. And this pinch tool, when we get over here sometime today, it takes a moment. All right, what it does is it pinches this. Maybe it will. Okay, let's try again here. Let's try. I don't think I have the right tool here selected. Pinch again. Pinch. Come on, pinch. All right, it's not working. Let's bring this up a little more. Okay, now you can see what's happening. It's pinching this together. It's pulling, and it's pinching this whole area. It's kind of pulling the whole area in. It's pinching. And don't worry if you kind of over pinch it, because you can always smoothen it out, but the objective is to kind of heal this area, to kind of pull it all in together and pinch it. And try not to touch the anything you don't need to touch, okay? So once we get it all kind of pinched in together, then we'll smooth, okay? This is an important. Now you see this. This is very important here, because we've got to pinch this seam together. And then we've got to pinch all of this kind of together. You can see how it's all stretched. All right, so now I'm going to try smoothing this a little bit. We're going to pinch this. And now we're going to try to smooth this, okay? You want to pinch where it's kind of pulled. You can see this is pulled apart. You see this is narrow and this one is wide. So you got to pinch these pieces together. All right? And this this tool is amazing. I'm not sure that I saw this tool in Blender, but you can see where it pinches that together. Very, 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 very. Now this needs a lot of pinching right here. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do is pull this together first, and then we can come in here with this smooth tool. Okay, now that the geometry is kind of pulled, and you can see we got a spot that isn't pulled right. I think when you click another tool, it accepts that. Okay. And now this, you just come through here and just give it a little bit of a, just kind of smoothen it out a little bit. And we'll fix those poke through areas. Okay, now we're going to smoothen this out, okay? And you see when you smooth this out, it brings these in like that. And smoothen this. Okay, we're going to have to pinch that together. Okay, and we're going to now left click and drag around. Okay, here. Okay, come back. We're going to pinch this, see, and smooth this out. And this area is horrible in here. We're going to smoothen that out. See, once you pinch it together, then you can kind of smoothen it a little bit, and then we'll go back to pinching some more. But now look how that, see how that smoothed that out? Okay, see, so we got it in the ballpark by just kind of pinching it all together. And then we use this smooth tool to smooth it out. And then we do a little bit more pinching. Now we go back to our pinch tool again. That should accept those changes when you switch between them. Okay, it should accept the changes. And now you see we can just kind of pull this in like this, like that. And now we don't have that problem anymore with that looking so terrible. Okay, and here, a little bit there, here. And then we go around the back here and pull this in a little bit here. Now, it's not going to be in the right place because his leg is kind of pulling his pants to the side. So now what we do is we go to this Inflate tool. And we're going to go here. Now, see, that's not too bad. Now, there's a little bit there. Now we're going to inflate this, okay? And then there's this area here. And just inflate it a little bit here, here. All right. Now I'm still seeing a little bit of a problem here because this needs to be pinched in here. So let's do some more of this because you can see the stretch there. It's okay. I mean, it's like much better than what it was. But I think if we pinch like this here and pinch here, we'll pinch this whole line in. Pull this all in together. What did I do? Okay, I went out. Okay, I switched tools. I pushed the wrong button. Okay, so see, this area doesn't look good here. So we're going to pinch that in. We're going to just pull this in, pinch this over, pinch the whole area over. I think we pull here and here. See, this is what it just pinches these lines together. Isn't that a nice tool? So, and we're just going to keep pinching until this comes over this way a little more. And here, pinch, and we hold the shift key. We've got some stuff to pinch here. And if we pull this over, just keep kind of pulling it over to this way. And I think you can drag too, yeah. So you can kind of drag so that it pulls the fabric over. Now that we've got it kind of there, and we can now pinch this and pinch this. Okay. And pinch this. It all depends on what, because I haven't had crashing during rendering, but it all depends. You have to tell me what you were. You have to tell me what you were rendering, because it's not a general problem, because I've rendered many things in 422 and not had it crash at all. But I have had Daz crash, and a lot of times it's due to a certain figure that you're using in your scene. So you have to look at that figure in your scene and figure out why that figure or that item is crashing. And that is because it's not across the board. It's not just like crashing just when you render anything. It's crashing because of a certain item that it hasn't been quite made right, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to smooth this out a little bit. So you have to let me know what was in your scene exactly, the scene that was crashing. Because if you just go and put like something like a sphere in a scene and try rendering, you'll find out that it renders. So it's not across the board, okay? And if there could be a problem, now you have to make sure I'm sure you have the latest NVIDIA drivers and all. Okay, we're going to smoothen this out a little bit here, okay? And then we're going to just make sure everything's smooth, and then we're going to pinch it back together, because this is about as far as I think I can get this. And then we're going to have a little bit of this graininess here. I think if I were to try to yank this side over a little bit, obviously this part has got to come over this way more. But I'm not going to go too crazy on this. I just want you to see how these tools work. Okay, so, and then we're going to bring this morph in. Yeah, so Habib, it says, since you are talking about errors, did they fix the bug in Daz 422 that causes crashing when rendering? And again, I will reiterate that it's something in your scene that's causing that, okay? And I had a problem where yeah, it can be certain hairs. What you want to do, excuse me. What you want to do is go in and try lowering the S. What is it? What is it? Surfaces. Oh, I have so many terms in my head that is that you want to lower the okay, it's up here. Create, okay, edit object, smoothing. You want to lower like the sub D from, sometimes that things like the hair will come in with like sub D5 or something on it, something weird like that. And you have to lower the sub D. It's something like that, where you have to go in. Now, here's what we had before, okay? So this is what we had, and this is unacceptable, especially if he's sitting in a chair and you just have this staring right at you in your scene, okay? So now this is what we've got here. Notice how this looks so much better. It's not, maybe not perfectly fixed, but you see I can pull this in a little more here like that, come through here with this, and this is just amazing how this works. Okay, and I'm not going to pinch this in. This probably has got to be pulled over so it goes down between, aligns with his buttocks properly. But I'm not going to mess with this, and we're going to just pinch these and make sure that. Okay, so now then I'm going to do one more smoothing, and then we're going to do a little. We're going to do a little bit of inflating and get it off his body. With one more so we'll go down to strength, and we'll go down to 30 for smoothing. Okay, so we have just a little, oh, I did way too much there. Just barely touched, okay, that's still too much, Z. Let's go down to 17, let's see, just a little bit of smoothing here. And I think I just already did like Z. Okay, I'm going to try this with 5. Okay, we just want to smoothen this a little bit. Okay, so that we have it little bit of smoothing here. And here, let's see what you can pretty much see where it needs it. Where the lines are just a little bit kind of. You don't want to smooth out all of the wrinkles in the fabric. Sometimes you can't help it because you got to fix those areas. But you just don't want to you just want to smoothen things out a little bit like that, see? And now, and here. And we could go back in and pinch that together a little bit more, but I think I'll leave that now. And now you can go all crazy with this. You can spend hours on it if you want. Now, but and get it just exactly the way you want it. And then we've got one more thing to do, and that's to inflate here. I'm sure that there are people in the forums talking about this, and whatever they prescribe, I haven't had problems with rendering hair either. I am definitely not saying that there's not a problem there. I'm just saying that I haven't had a problem with the particular hair. I don't use a lot of long hair, and a lot of times I try to even stay away from dForce hair because I don't use a lot of long hair. So, I mean, there's those issues there. So I guess this is good here. This is like much better, okay, than what it was. I think I'm going to pull this together a little bit more here. So we'll go into the pinch again. And I'm just going to pinch this area here in. It just doesn't quite look right. This looks okay. It doesn't look right, but it looks okay. Okay, so, yeah, this, it looks okay, but I don't like the way the fabric is all, and so now there is a way, now once you get back into Daz, you can use Mesh Grabber, and you can just kind of grab whole areas and pull them over. And sometimes you can do that before you bring your figure into Hexagon, because Hexagon doesn't seem to have like a grab tool. Let's see, we've got here another little bit of smoothing here. We can do this, looks like a kind of a bump here. And we'll smooth this one little area here. Okay. And I think that's going to do it. Okay, so now is the next phase, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to create a morph. Now, Jay, I watched him, and he used like an existing morph. But I'm not going to, go and search for an existing morph and copy over it. I'm just going to create a completely new morph, okay? I figure the morphs that are there are causing whatever it is that's happening, and we're just undoing whatever that's causing. Okay, so it kind of works, okay? So, well, it actually works very well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just click Send to Daz Studio, and we're sending the business pants, and I think we're sending the button with it. We're okay. We'll see what we're sending. I'm not sure. Okay. I don't think we're sending the button because the button's already on the pants and we don't need to do anything. So the only thing you have to do here is you have to click reverse deformations, and you have to click yes there. So you have to click this little caret here that drops down, and you have to turn on reverse deformations. Now all I did was export it here, and this popped up, okay? And then this make unique, that means make a unique morph. Make a new morph. Make unique morph means make a new morph. Now, if I, and then so that's pretty much it, and you click accept, okay? Now, but I want to explain something while we're at this phase here, okay? Is that supposing I make the unique morph, I get him on there and I say, oh, I should have edited that area a little bit more, okay? Well, you have to go in here to Hexagon, and you have to close this all out. You have to close it all down, and then you have to export it again, okay? And you just export it again, and then you work on this. And then when you come back, instead of make unique, because the name of the new morph that we're creating is called Hexagon Morph. You can right-click on this. I mean, you can double-click on this, and you can say, Pants Morph. But whatever you name it, then when you come back into from Hexagon, you want to overwrite it, and that's why you, instead of make unique, okay, you right-click here and just click deltas only. I don't know what the hell that does, but it works, okay? So so you're not making another unique morph. You're just copying over your other morph, which has all your edits already in it, plus whatever else you did, okay? So you have to close down, and so if you want to bring him back into Hexagon, if you try to bring him back in, you'll end up with two of him and two pairs of pants, and they'll all be kind of like overlaid, and you wonder which one's which, and you end up with a mess. Just close down Hexagon. You're done. Once you're back into there, you're done. So when you close it, you say, would you like to send changes to Daz Studio before closing? No, we already did that. And it says, would you like to save this? And say, no, we don't need to save it either, okay? Because we've got the morph. So you wait a moment, and that worked flawlessly, okay? So now we're going to make a unique morph, and we're going to call it Pants Morph, and we do the reverse. It's not that hard. It's like three things. Pay attention to your name, okay, and switch this, right-click here and click yes for reverse deformations, and make sure that if it's the first time you've edited it, that you make a unique morph. Make a new one. Make unique means make a new one, okay? And so you make a new morph. And if, like I said, if you go and bring him back into then you have to overwrite that, and instead you right-click. Instead of making a new unique one, remember this, you select deltas only, and it will overwrite that morph with the new changes. So we click accept. Okay, morph is created successfully. Yay. Now this doesn't look right. Okay. And I found that what you have to do is go in here. Now we can turn back on his HD resolution. Okay, so which was up in here somewhere. Let's select Dalton. We can go back now and take him from base. Which is where is this? There's Dalton. Oh, we're in surfaces. We go to parameters. Now we can turn him back from base to high resolution. Okay, and it doesn't really change much. Okay, And then this sub-DV level, you want to turn, what I found is that you want to turn down the, well, let's just see if our morph works. So we go all the way down to the bottom here, or we can go here to, with this Dalton general actor hidden, where is it? It's the last morph in the list, I think, all the way at the bottom. No, it's not. Okay, let's see, where is our morph? Oh, these would be on the pants. Okay, so now we go to the pants here. And what you want to do is turn off. Make sure the smoothing iterations are turned off, okay? And I believe that's important. Okay, now see where it says that was down at the bottom, the pants morph. And we bring this in like that. And look what we have here. We have them completely fixed. Okay, now remember the smoothing. Okay, this smoothing iterations is on 3. Okay, now if this gets pulled up a little bit, I think it takes a moment for these. Sometimes the interactive update, this can mess up your, so if you end up with something really weird looking like it's coming out of there, you have to take and turn off these. I think it's the smoothing iterations, but not the collision. Yeah, the smoothing iterations. Because watch when I bring this up just even a few. See, it distorts it. You see? So you make sure they're off. And that's the fix, okay? Because you'll come in and you'll go and put these on, and the smoothing the smoothing iterations will be like on 3, something really low, okay? But you'll end up with this really messed up twist, okay, in there. And so now you can dial it down a little bit, but the thing is that when you dial that up, you're getting what you saw in there. And this is very nice. Now, in my opinion, this line should be here. So as you can see, there's a stretch here. So you have to go, and what you would do here is you would pinch this right in here until you pull this piece up, until this pinches up, and you can see it's got a kind of weird little pull. You can see this here, but when we go into, I mean, from that distance, when we go into Iray, this, in my opinion, is fixed. Okay, look at that. Okay, so this is how you do this. Okay, this is how it's done, people. And so now the thing is that if you decide you don't like this pose and you want to just move his leg up higher like he's kicking, okay, you're going to have to take these pants back in to the hexagon and reset them back up, come back in, and overwrite your morph, your pants morph. Okay, that's what you named it. You pay attention to what you named it. When you come back in, it's going to say, it's going to call it like generalized morph. And you have to change the name to pants morph so it will overwrite, and then click that deltas thing, and you will have this all set like this. Now, you can save this. I'm not sure which what you would save it with. And these pants won't just work on any other figure, okay? Because they have a different weight map, and they're gonna pull at the pants in a different way. So you have to do this every time you put a pair of pants on a figure and you put them in a pose. You have to take the pants in to. Now what we can do is we can hide these pants. Okay, and let's get him out of here. And we can put now a shirt on him. I love Dalton. He's just so beautiful. Now we go to shirts, and we pick shirts. And let's find a shirt for him, and one with some long sleeves maybe. And oh, this one I've had trouble with. Okay, so we select Dalton. We go to this Lumberjack shirt. I don't know why I've got two of everything in here. And look what we have here. We have the same problem, okay? Under the arms. It's going to be here every time you make a figure, okay? You're going to have these problems. And you just can't leave these like this. So what we do is, I hope that it's not going to import him. If it does, we can just, because all we're bringing back from Daz is the morph from the clothing. Okay, so I mean from Blender. So now I'm going to go back to Dalton here and switch him back. Just because I'm told that's what you're supposed to do, we're going to switch him back to our, which one is it? Smooth edges. Okay, we need Dalton actually. And we're going to switch him back to base. Base, okay, back to base resolution. And that's it. Now we're going to go and bring him back into Hexagon, File, Send to Hexagon. Now we got Hexagon closed, so it's going to bring him all fresh back in. Let's see if this brings back in his pants with when they're turned off. You would think it wouldn't. Where's Hexagon? Hexagon, where have you gone? Where have you gone, Hexagon? Okay, we try it again. I guess it just didn't hear us calling its name. Send to Hexagon. Okay. We're going to save this. File, save as, scene. Okay, this is Lumberjack. Now, I can't guarantee when you come back into this scene that this is going to stay fixed. Okay, let's hope it does. Accept. Okay, now. Let's try again. Come on, Hexagon. Hexagon might still be open in the background. So let's go Control Alternate Delete and see if we still have Hexagon open. Are you on my other computer? Why not pin Hexagon and Daz to your taskbar? I have Daz down in my taskbar here, but the thing is, when I open Hexagon, I open it from within Daz. Yeah, see down, if you look down in the bottom here, I have two Daz. I have the Daz public build and the Daz beta down here. And the reason why I don't put Hexagon down here in the taskbar is because I use Daz to invoke Hexagon. And right now the bridge isn't working, so I'm not sure why. Yeah, that's what we're doing. See, when I select Dalton here, and let's try it just with the Lumberjack shirt Lumberjack and see with it work to just send the Lumberjack shirt. If I can get that to work, maybe we can get. So I go to File, Send to, and you see it says Send to Hexagon. Now I have a feeling. I'm not sure why. Let's close this window. Control Alternate Delete again. This is, I think, on my other computer. Where is it? Oh, I know where it is. I'm on the wrong monitor here. Okay. HDMI 1.
Okay.
I have a feeling Hexagon is still open and it just didn't close. So let's see. HDMI 2.
Okay.
Where are you, Hexagon? Okay. All right, what we're going to do, this would be a good test. This is a good test. To check and see. I have a ton of stuff open in the background. It might be because okay, what I'm going to do is do just what you said. Try to open Hexagon standalone. Hexagon, we'll just open one of them. Hexagon Beta, 64-bit. We'll just open it for some and see if we can get then the Daz to relink itself to it. I don't know. Let's see. That's one way to test it. Now we close it. Now we select Dalton. I'm not sure why. It may not work with me having something on him hidden. Okay, see, that didn't work. Now I'm going to unhide the pants. File. Send to Hexagon. No, so for some reason the Daz connection to Hexagon has been broken. So let's close Daz. I just saved it a while back. And we will see what we can do here. And then we go back here to Daz Studio. I think a lot of the clothing and the things that we buy in the store, believe it or not, come from Hexagon. Yes, a lot of it comes from the other maker, material maker, something I can't remember now, designer. And then a lot of it comes from Blender. But I believe a lot of people still make stuff in Hexagon. And the reason why I say that is because this morning I was about ready to swear off Hexagon forever because I just kept having problems with Hexagon. And then I installed the Hexagon 64-bit beta, and all of a sudden, all of my problems went away. So now Hexagon, to me, that's why I'm making this video, because Hexagon now represents a working program to me in my mind. And that is what is cool. I hope I kept the Lumberjack shirt. I saved it with the I think I saved it with the Lumberjack shirt on him. I think I just had his pants. I still want to test that and see if I can. I wonder if I can, like, mute a few other things. Okay, so we got the pants. Let's see what happens when we, like, turn off the brows and the mouth, the eyes. Maybe they won't export with him. That would be nice. Okay, so the pants are turned off. We just want Dalton. Okay, so we go File, Send to, Hexagon. There it is. It's back. It may be because now let's see what comes in. No, it read everything there on him, even though it was, now look at how terrible that looks. I think that'll fix itself, but okay, we're going to turn, we don't need the pants because we already did those. We don't need the brows and the mouth, the tears. Get anything you can get off, take out off your character here, do it, because Hexagon is going to work smoother when it doesn't have to have all that extra geometry here. So just get rid of the stuff. And the pants button, we don't need that. Now, why does this shirt look so bad? Let's see. Okay. The texture is just horrible, horrific. Doesn't look like our shirt at all. Okay, something has... Okay, let's say we just ignore. Okay, I just moved that Z. Ignore the texture and let's just fix this, the geometry, okay? And because I believe we're not messing with the actual... Okay, so we're going to go here to UV paint. Maybe it'll figure it out. It's something about the way it's, and I don't know enough about this on how to fix the UV map and the way it's laying across this particular item, but we still want to use the item. And so why not, okay, so now we're going to switch to the pinch tool. We want to pinch this area. It's not pinching. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bigger. There we go. Pinch that in. Just pinch it. And the same with this side, pinch it in. It doesn't matter how bad it does. Just pinch it in, kinda. And then we'll smooth. Okay. Bring that up. Now it remembers your settings from previously. Now look how nice this just smooths right out. Okay. You don't want to go all over the whole shirt because the shirt, they've put little wrinkles and things, creases in the shirt. And you don't want the shirt to look just completely smooth, okay? You just want to go over what's been really corrupted by the pose. Okay. See, you'll notice there's little. Notice the contour of the shirt. It's kind of got. It's got little wrinkles and things. So. All right, we're gonna just. Now that we've pulled that in, we can smooth it out a little bit like this. Just want to go over that area. Okay. And now we're done. And what we do is we take now and we go File, Send to Daz. That didn't take long, did it? And we go to Send to Daz. We open Daz. Here it is. We're going to allow this. We'll call it shirt morph. You should come up with like a couple of like, you know, probably for me, because my name is Rex Red, I would just like go RR shirt morph. Just put something like that so that you can always go through and find it. If you have to do a search, you can just go RR, look for RR. So do something like that. Come up with a couple of letters or 3 letters or something for your. Now we got to always use this reverse deformations or it won't work. It will be all completely messed up. And we're making a unique one. We're not overwriting another one. We're just going to make our own. And we had the Lumberjack shirt selected here. So that's what came across. So we go reverse form, make unique, and we put this RR here. Morph created successfully. I always love it when it does that. Okay, and click OK. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit on Dalton, our Dalton man. And here we go. Let's see what happens to this shirt now. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go into parameters and turn off smoothing. It's got 2 iterations. Turn them off for the shirt. Okay, because they will mess up your. And then I could type in RR, maybe. And there it is. Takes me right to my shirt morph. And what do we got here? We've got a perfect shirt morph. Yes. Yes, that's very smart, Art. It says, that's what I do, and if I change only one piece of clothes, I save it as a subset without the environment and tone mapper. Yeah, well, you see there's 2 different kinds of save for clothings. One is scene subset. One is wearable preset. There's 3. And then there's also there's wearable and there's scene subset, I think. There's also materials preset and shader preset, but scene subset, I believe, saves the morph with it. So you're very smart, yes. Where the wearable preset, I don't know that that actually saves the morph with it. So I could be wrong. I'm just guessing, but I don't assume that the wearable preset saves your morph with it. Yes, so here we go. Oh yeah, your morph that you create usually is the last one in the list also. And also, if you see where it says shirt Lumberjack up here, if you click Morphs down at the bottom, that's a quick way to get to it, okay, is through this morph. So, yeah, look what we have here for this shirt. And so then now I can just turn his pants on. So, yes, Dalton, we're not going to make you walk around naked all day here. So, he's got his button. Now it's an easy job with what we can do is tuck his pants, or what you can do is take his shirt like this, and you go to Geometry Editor, Tools, like this, go to Geometry Editor. Okay, and we're going to take a look at his shirt now in, let's turn off Dalton for a moment. Let's turn on his Lumberjack shirt if we can get that to go on alone. Yeah. And then we're going to go into wireframe. Oh, yes, this is a perfect shirt to do this with. So notice how, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to select two little squares here. Okay, I need the pants on. Yeah, that'll work. So we select those two. Notice how I selected two of them going this way. All right. Now, if I selected, we'll unselect that. If I select two going this way, it will select up and down. But if I select two of these going this way, then when I right-click, geometry selection, it says select loop. Notice how it just selected that loop around him. Now we got to make sure his pants don't go that doesn't go above, and it looks like it does actually go above his belt line. So I have to select the next loop down. Hold the control key and select 2.5, two of those. Turn the pants off, make sure we got it right. Now we right-click geometry and select loop. You can only do this when the geometry is square like this. You notice how everything is in squares. If they're in weird like patterns, like and they're all kind of mosaic in a way, like stained glass window kind of thing, then you can't select it like this, okay? But if you have a pair of clothing, a piece of clothing that has all squares like this, you can just select it. So then what you do is you go to geometry visibility, and since we know we're going to delete this, we're just going to go geometry editing, delete selected polygons. Yes. Please don't go crazy on me and die. All right, then we can put one selection here, right-click, geometry selection, select connected, right-click, geometry editing, delete selected polygon. All right. Now, I don't know if this shirt's going to look good tucked into him. All right. So we're going to turn the pants back on now. And let's go into our texture shaded mode. And now we can just push, yeah, this worked. So we can just push this little bit of his shirt Oh, thank you. I will save right now. Thank you very much, Art. You're very helpful. And now we go to our parameters. We're going to go to our mesh grabber. And we're just going to push this in like this. I can't see what I'm doing. All right. In you go. And a little bit like that. Like this. Like that. Okay, that's all in. Okay. We got a little bit here. Pull that in a little bit. And we pull this. I love the way this. Okay, now we got the pants selected. We didn't want that. We want the shirt. We're going to pull the shirt and leave the pants the way they are. Looks like I had a little bit of a piece left there, but that's okay. So, is that it? No, we got another little spot here. A little bit there. A little bit here. And we got a bit there. And that is it, people. He's got a little bit of a beer belly. So, yeah, he likes to go down and so now we got a little bit of something going on here. Now I did turn off the smoothing iterations, so it might make it a little bit harder to kind of do this just right. You might have to work with it a little more than generality, but it's okay. Okay. So, yeah. Now there's a possibility with the shirt that you can, sometimes you have to just move it a tiny bit when that happens, when it just decides to undo itself. Z, or go Z. Okay, now we're going to make this a little smaller, like 3. And we can kind of work with these little tinier pieces. And this one, Lumberjack shirt. And if you have a problem, you can always work with the pants too. Just pull them out a little bit. I think that kind of works. And then we give him some hair. So we go back into our content library. We'll save this again. And now this is a dForce shirt. So before you take it in to Hexagon, you might want to do your dForce simulation on it. And when you do, and then you go into Hexagon and you edit it and you bring it back in, then your morph also contains the dForce simulation built within it. So this needed dForce before I did this, okay? So, okay, now what we do is, now you can come back in here to the parameters on the shirt. And if I get rid of that, and we go to here, and this part where it said smoothing iterations, we could try to bring it up to 2. And now that should pull this in and like make it see, but you have to watch, because your smoothing iterations can completely mess with this. Now, you see, now we got something going on here. When I bring that back to, you just have to watch and see what your smoothing iterations do to, you got sub D. Now, another thing about sub D, okay, is that, remember this wireframe? Do you remember how everything in this, let's go to just the regular wireframe, and we'll turn off our Dalton, and we'll just turn on our shirt for a moment. Now, you know that sub D divides the geometry, and it puts, like, if you do sub D, it divides it in half, or it divides it in quarters, and it divides it, okay. Well, sub D only really works well with when your geometry is square like this. It's very easy for sub D to say, oh, that's just a square. I'll just cut it in 8 pieces, or I'll cut it in 4 pieces, okay? But when it's like in little pieces like this, where it's like, I'll show you one. And this is like a star, okay? Notice that? It is a power hog. It's a very big hog. It's something, you know, you just always want, and that reflects back to Habib's question about why Daz won't render things, and sometimes it is sub D where like I have a the guy, he's the Joker, he's like one of the early Genesis 9 figures. He looks like the Joker. What's his name? Anybody can remember him? And he won't render. He won't render in Daz. You have to, unless you go in and you lower his. I think it's a sub D, because he's like sub D5. We go to content. We go to, what is it? Oh, we have to select off of that. Go to this guy here. So just here's a figure that just won't render in Daz if you. Where is he? I'll find him. Yeah, Rupert is his name. Okay, R-U-P. R-U-P, I think it's Rupert or R-U. We'll go to default. Rupert? Here it is, Rupert. Yeah, this guy, he is sub D5. Okay, and he won't render. You try to render him in Daz, and Daz will just like lock right up. It won't like turn black and let you close the render. It just locks right up, and it won't let you do anything. You have to control alt delete out of it. Yeah, just because of sub D. So just think about your clothing mesh when you're using sub D, because sub D on something like this loves a shirt like this. Because look how beautiful the geometry looks now on this shirt, because we went into hexagon. But sub D loves this kind of geometry because it can just cut all of them into little squares. But if your geometry is all shaped in odd, like sometimes they're like little rounded things that and what I did, like with cutting around, where I cut a hole around this, I could only do that because this geometry is in beautiful little rows. Okay, and that's the only reason why I was able to cut that. If it had been in all of that kind of paisley pattern of mesh that some clothing comes in, then I would have gotten a really horrible jagged edge here. And most Daz clothes is like this. Most Daz clothes are in these beautiful little squares that just are very nice for being able to do sub D with, and to chop pieces off and chop the bottom off of something, so you just don't have to sit and tuck the whole darn thing in. So yeah, it's so think about that with sub D and your geometry. Take a look at your wireframe and see if your what kind of wire mesh you're working with before you start increasing sub D on it. Because if it's made of that kind of paisley pattern, you've seen it before probably, it won't take sub D very well. And this thing will just will love sub D. So I'm not sure how to see sub D. Wireframe, what's this? I'm not sure. I've seen it before where all of a sudden you see like the sub D in it. Let's go into parameters, sub D level 2. Yeah, see, it's not showing the sub D level. And it's actually doing something weird here. Look at this. Now we go back out of this into our Iray. See what happens. Yeah, see, this sub D kind of corrupted our work. So you have to be careful if you do editing. The smoothing is at 9. Sub D level, I'm not sure what corrupted that, but it's not as pretty as it was before now. We've got a little bit of something going on here. Collision iterations, enable smoothing. We turn that off, and it's we go to bilinear and see what happens here. So I'm not really sure what this was at before. We're at base level. We could go to high resolution. And now let's see what this looks like in wireframe. No, it's not showing the sub D. I've forgotten how to view sub D, because there is a way to kind of see it, like dividing it. It's like it doesn't show. It's not actual wireframe. It's kind of like a ghost mesh that's inside of it. And believe it or not, Daz Studio is so complicated that there are many, many, many things that I don't know about. We're going to switch gears here now. I want to show you something about that maybe you guys didn't know about. And just so that we're going to go into here, we're going to talk a little bit about weight mapping here now. Because I don't know if a lot of people realize that we have a weight mapping tool here. And see this little tool here over on the side here, because I dragged this down. You can take your bars like up in here, and you can drag them and bring them where you want. If you grab the end of it, like this part, I can move that bar and put it up there, and I can put it on the side here. You just have to grab the beginning part of it. I'll put that back here. And if you don't have this bar, because this is your joint editor, this is your geometry editor, and your spot render, and your bones for active poses, and then also your weight brush tool. And you can actually paint weight maps on your clothing here in Daz Studio. And so what you do is you go and open up the tool settings. Once you select that weight map tool, it becomes selected here like this. And then you select the shirt. And now you're looking at the weight map of this shirt. And what's kind of cool that you can do with weight mapping, let's go into a new scene. I think I have this saved, so we're going to just go out and we're going to go new. And if I don't, it's okay, because I'm not planning on using him. I just used him as a you would like to save the changes to the current scene before closing it? No, I don't think I want to do that. If I have to cut his shirt, I'll do it again. Now remember, if you hide geometry, that when you bring it back into your scene, the geometry will come back. Daz doesn't save hidden geometry. It turns it back on. Okay, just so you know. Now, what we can do is, let's put something here. Let's find a prop. Okay, so we'll go into here and files. Let's get rid of Rupert. And we're going to find a prop, some kind of cool prop. And let's do this, the Miami strip pole. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to create a plane. And the plane will have, let's say, 50 divisions. And it'll be, let's see, 20 meters. Let's see how big that is. Plane. And we'll move it up a little bit here like this. And that's a little bit large, so we'll make it a little smaller. I will scale it down. I don't mind it having some good geometry to it. So we'll go Tool Setting, Parameters, and scale it down. And now our weight map painting, weight painting. So, okay, we have to add a weight map to this plane. Now, I don't know a lot about this stuff, but okay, so we're going to go Edit, Object. I hope I didn't get myself into something that I have no idea how to do this. So, add dForce modifier, surfaces here. Load rigging, it would be in geometry, I think. Add level of detail. That's interesting. Convert, okay, and push modifier. dForce. All right, I think we add the dForce modifier because we're going to want to use dForce. We'll use the dynamic surface modifier. Okay, and then I think we add the weight map modifier here when we go into tool settings. We select the plane. No, I don't think I added a weight map. Okay, create. It's in here. Wind. Okay, I may not be able to do this if I don't figure this out. New wind mod strand, deformer. Now there's the pull edit. More floater. Level of smoothing modifier. Does anyone know where the weight map is? Surfaces, you'd think it'd be here. Load UV set. Maybe that's it. Map transfer. Okay, we go here. How to add weight map in. How to add weight. Select the weight map tool, which is like the barbell and the brush. Open the tool settings pane. In the weight map tab, select influence weight. Select add map. In the weight maps tab, okay. Weight maps tab. Okay. Okay, we didn't do this right. Read this again. Which looks like a barbell with a brush through it. Okay, that does look like a barbell with a brush. I never noticed that. Open the tool settings pane. That's where we are. In the weight maps tab. Okay, we're in the weight maps tab. Maybe I shouldn't have added dForce. In the okay. It's usually this right here. You can just select this. Bindings, normalize, okay. Okay, there's something I'm missing. The tool settings, that's what this is. The tool settings, pane. In the weight maps tab, select influence weights. That would be here. Well, this is geometry editor tool. Surfaces. Add. Okay, maybe we needed to add a surface. Okay, you're not helping me, AI. Show more. General weight mapping or triax weight mapping. I thought that was here. Create edit. Object. Map transfer. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to do, is bring something interesting into all of this. And that's why I wanted to show you this. And so we're going to try to do this. It's going to take me a little while to figure it out. Tools. Map editor. See, you have to turn this into give it a weight map. And then it lays over top of it, and it's very cool. Once that happens, new weight node, modifier, weight node. Let's try that. Accept. I think that's it. Okay, now we have this weight node. Add map. There we go. Okay, did you see what I did? All right, we go here to, because I didn't, it says new deformer, and it says push modifier weight node. Okay, and so you add that to the plane, because if I take this plane here, and if I go here like this, oops, we don't want to move that. Z, we want to move the plane. And we move the plane like this. And then if I do a dForce simulation, and we simulate, look what happens. Well, we need a timeline. Open the timeline. We're going to go with 150. Maybe we probably don't need that long, but let's go with 150, and then we'll go back into our simulation settings. And we're going to go initialization off, but then we go to our here, and we go to use timeline. Okay, clear. Now we simulate this. See, what happens is it kind of falls off. Okay, we don't have, and it falls into the abyss forever. We don't have a plane here, so it's probably good to have a plane in here too. So let's throw another plane in here just so we have a ground. Accept. Okay, now, so how do we fix this? And what we do is we go back and now and take our, go back and clear this. And we take and go to our weight map editor. And we go to our tool settings. And we select this little brush. And when we paint that, nothing happens. But if we hold the alternate key, all right, it turns it gray right there. Let's see if we're right over top of that. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. Let's undo that. Let's go right over the top of that. Oh, hold the alternate key. When you make it gray, that kind of like nails that piece. Okay, so watch what happens now. We go simulate. Simulate. Okay, it's not even going to let it move anywhere. It's just going to stay right in that spot. Now, is that cool or what? Okay, and so this is weight map 101. Okay, this is how you paint something. This is the idea of how a weight map kind of works. So we go now and clear this. Now, if we were to move this down a little bit so it actually kind of contacts with our object, it will look like a little bit more natural, kind of when it comes down, like. And so now we run our, let's go into the texture shaded mode. And this would be a good time to put maybe sub D on this. A little bit of sub D. So we go to our parameters and see if we have sub D. We don't. So we can add create, edit, object, geometry, sub D. And now our sub D is on there. Let's just so when it hangs off, it looks nice and smooth. So now we go back to our simulation settings, simulate. Okay, it moved it back up. Okay, I'm not sure why it did that. But look at that beautiful draping now. And it will collide with the floor. I think it did drop down. It went up, but then I think it dropped down. Yes, it did. So that time it actually dropped down a little bit. And it looks like we're looking at the top of our plane here. Yeah, so and now that would also work if we now if you have, if you were to change this to be more like silk, then it's going to want to slide off of that off of this much more readily because it's not like this looks like it could be a piece of leather or something. It just doesn't have that. Look how beautifully that just kind of draped over that. And now if we could go down to, for sub D, we could go to and just bring the sub D up again. Sub D would be sub D3 maybe. Oh, what am I doing? This is simulation. We don't want to do that. We would go to parameters. And we'll go to sub D level 2. Now you can see the, I think you can see the sub D in the wireframe. No, it's not showing that. Wire shaded, but you can see it when you get up close here. So that's what I didn't understand why it wasn't showing in the shirt, but there's our sub D. It's divided it, and these are all squares again. And sub D level, see now it's a much finer. And so the a shirt that you don't want to just you want, or the collar, or if you have like a rope that's tied in the front of the shirt that kind of ties the shirt together, and when you go to do sub D, the knots all become, so it's a way of saying don't react to this part of the shirt. Okay, and so you use the sub D, you go into this simulation into sub D, and you paint those parts, take the color out of it by holding alternate, and take the color out of the, so we'll go back here to this, and we'll undo our simulation. And now we can do the same thing in the middle. We can now go into our weight modifier, go into this, go into our tool settings, and now we have these brushes here. So if I just paint on this again without holding the alternate, it will bring it back. Okay, and that part, just make sure you cover it, and then we can take the plane and we could move the plane over like this, and like that. And then we'll hold the alternate key again, go back into our tool setting, weight modifier and tool settings, and make sure we're in our, we have this selected. You have to select this. You might have to add the map once you've added the modifier, and then we just come in here, hold the alternate key, and we take the weight out of this until it's gray. All right. Boy, I pulled that one through. I don't know what I would have done without the AI. All right, so because I was I was up a creek without a paddle with that one. All right, here we go. So now I believe when I go back to the beginning, this moves it up. So what I would have to do is tell this to I think maybe go back to the original. I've got a mess here, so we've got to open these up and delete them all. Delete all these animation sections. How do we do this? Delete, it says right click, delete selected keys. Select that, right click. Don't hit the delete key, whatever you do. Do not hit the delete key. You have to delete these manually. Okay, now where's my plane? It's down there. Now I can move it up. It should still have my weight map there, unless I put the weight map on while it was okay. I think that's going to move it back down again, okay? Because this is the, okay, Z. Okay. Let's take this back to the beginning again. Now, does my okay? The only thing I'm seeing here is this, which is okay. Now, plane, this plane, we should be able to move this and move it up without any problem. And then we should be able to. That should be over top of that, but because we're at the frame 0. I should be able to move that there by just using my parameter settings to 0, X, and Z, 0. That just centered it. Okay, and we'll leave the 371. That's where we want it to start at, I guess. And then we go back to our weight map brush. Back to tool settings, select on our modifier, and make sure we have our brush selected, hold alternate, and start painting away at this until it's gray. Now there's a whole bunch of colors in between. It's not very evident, but it, and sensitivity, you can bring this up. Okay, but I believe that's gray now. Now there's also texture shaded. Smooth shaded. We'll go back to our wire shaded. And now we go back to our simulation settings and simulate. And here it is. Okay, now what we can do, it looks kind of like a circus tent in a way, but what we can do now here is Z, we go clear this, clear, and we rewind it again before we make any changes. Back to the beginning. Now, somewhere in here are settings. Collision, environment, gravity, air resistance. Now, I think this air resistance has to do with what kind of fabric it is. Okay? So if you bring it up, it might get lighter like silk. And if you bring it down, it might get heavy like a wet blanket or something. I'm not sure. But I think air resistance is it. So if let's try bringing it up and see if it looks more like silk when it simulates. Yeah, see, it seems to have a lot more or less resistance to the air. Let's bring it up a lot more. This isn't doing what I kind of expected it, because I kind of expected it to just go whoosh, you know, down. So let's try bringing it down the other way. Like way down here. Clear, simulate. I think it's the other way around. Now this is looking like a little bit more like it got thinner. It's kind of looking like tablecloth consistency. So let's bring it down to 0.0. Okay, and I think I have to do that at the beginning. No? Okay, clear. I guess you can't animate air resistance. All right, so it seems like it's getting... And what would be really cool would be to add some wind nodes to this. But it does look like it's not becoming kind of the silk that I thought. Now gravity 1, so if we were to go to gravity 2, what happens here? Clear. Oh, that pulled it right down, much quicker. It almost has the consistency still of water. I don't know why our air resistance is, it's not really looking, okay. Iterations, base, okay, let's, collision iterations per subframe. That's like everything here. If we break this all down, it's all up here. There's something I'm missing about this air resistance and all. So let's add a couple more zeros to it. And see now, clear this, simulate. Because I would think it would just like drop and hang like right over it. And that's not what's happening here. It doesn't seem to be changing. So there's something that I'm not doing right. Let's go back to here, how to set cloth simulation to silk and Daz dForce. dForce item selected. Click the waffle icon and choose to. The waffle icon. Now I have dForce. I wonder if I have the wrong dForce. I don't see a waffle. Okay, this one. This is the waffle icon. dForce. Okay. And it says what was the it says add dynamic surface add-on. What was it say? Anus. You are here, Anus. I hope you're still around. I didn't think to say hi to you. Hello, dear friend. Click the plus and minus signs as required or less silky. Well, choose dForce Surface Adjuster. Okay, this is it. So dForce. All right, what if we remove the dForce modifier? We try the static modifier. Add dForce, add static modifier. Because I'm... All right, and I'm not seeing any difference here. Okay, I wonder if I lost my weight map, because that doesn't seem to be here anymore. Now the tool settings, add map. Okay, yes, so you have to add the weight map. Okay, then we hold alternate. Let's try a simulation with this other type of dForce. Maybe a little more of this to make sure it's gray. And then we go to simulation, simulate. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not dForce anymore. So let's go back. The other one worked. So we go back to our hamburger here and dForce, remove dForce modifier. Okay, I guess it doesn't have one. Okay, so maybe this allows us, it's a static one, which means that it's probably for like clothing, not for actual like dForce simulation, but more for like morphing with the body. My decaf here. So we're going to add the other type. This is the dynamic surface. Okay, and then we go into our tool settings and we have to add this again. No, it's here. Now it should simulate. Okay. Okay. When all else fails, decaf. Yeah, I am a decaf. A person. I am. I admit it. I love decaf. It keeps me mellow with my friends. So, all right. So let's go back here and look at this again. Okay. I don't think it's fair for me to play other videos during my tutorials. Both the anguloy oversleeves and overset object on the simulations pane. Click on the options menu, the little drop with the triangle and lines next to the blue simulate button. Select dForce, add force, not dynamic surfaces. So that's what we added, was the dynamic surfaces. With your dForce clothing in the scene tab, then select the surfaces tab with your dForce. Oh, surfaces tab. Selected, click the waffle icon and choose dForce surface adjuster from the menu. Okay, so it says to select this, then go to the surfaces tab, plane, and it says default. I don't see it here. Volume, okay. Simulation, okay, here we go. Friction, okay, wow. Okay, here it is. So I think what we do is we go back to this weight modifier here in our simulation setting, and let's set this back, reset the value. I had the wrong thing. Reset value. and reset value. Okay, so that those work correctly. Then we go back to surfaces and we go to our, click the plane, click on simulation, and now which one did it say to change? Click dForce Surface Adjuster from the menu. Click the plus and minus signs. Okay, dForce Surface Modifiers. Okay, where is this? Okay, bending, velocity, smoothing, stiffness, buckling, collision layer, friction, dynamic strengths. I should know which one this is, but we're going to figure it out. Okay, when I click this default up here, it's everything. Let's read this again. Okay, from the smoothing. Then in the Surface tab, with your dForce item selected, click the waffle iron and choose dForce Surface Adjuster from the menu. There it is. dForce Surface Adjuster. Okay. Wow. Wow, silkier. Let's do that. All right, let's run this simulation. Simulate. Simulate. That doesn't look much silkier than the other one. But now we know how to get it kind of even more. Okay, that said silkier, which means, so we go back to our surface and we go back to here. Default. Oh, we got to go back to surfaces. Plane. Surface adjuster. Okay, silkier. There we go. Let's go 10. And it just changed something. The buckling ratio, it changed something in here. So it's this right here. Buckling ratio is at 89%. Let's try it again. Well, that's a little more silkier. I still, yeah, I still kind of expected it to just drop, you know? Silk just doesn't, it kind of flows and, you know, it does. So surfaces, okay, let's bring this buckling ratio to 100% and see what happens. Thank you very much, Art. Thank you for the compliment here. Let's give this a silky surface. We'll go to surfaces, presets, and of course it's got to be red silk. Let's go back. We have to go back to our 0 frame. And we'll take our plane here in our parameters and scale that bottom plane up a little bit more. There. Okay, and we'll make that black. Okay, and we can do that by just going into the color plane. Surfaces, editor, plane. We can take our base color and just make that plane black. And then we take our plane here and go to presets, default, shaders. There was silk, skin, stone, fabric. Where's fabric? Fabric, silk, silk fabric. Well, let's just go to shaders. Okay, here we go. This one right here, plain silk. What other kind is there? We got to select it here. Silk, plain, plain. There we go. And now we go to back to surfaces on the plane, editor, simulation. Now this was the one, buckling ratio. All right, let's click play and see what happens. Let's click simulate. Oh, let's go into Iray. Okay, Iray. Let's see what this looks like in Iray. Okay, it's laying on that black surface. The black surface has too much shine. So we go plane 2, which is that. We go to surfaces. Glossy inputs off. No, that didn't work. Glossy, let's just make this black. Okay. And there can be a little bit of shine maybe. Okay. All right, you can tell it's silk because of the way it's laying on the ground. It's just flat. And it doesn't have any kind of wrinkles in it at all. So let's now go back to our simulation here with surfaces and plane editor, plane 1, simulation. Where was that now? We'll bring this buckling ratio down this way. Make it stiffer. Now we clear. See what happens. It will simulate in Iray. Oh, look, now we have these. Look at this. See, we have these. Well, that's interesting. Look at that. It looks like tempered metal. It's beautiful. And so, yeah, I thought I would just do some of these because, you know, we work in this wonderful program here, this Daz Studio, and some of us have been working at this for years, and we just don't know what's here. And all of a sudden, one day we stumble across something. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a wind modifier because this right here won't move. It won't budge from here. So if I take insert, okay, create new wind node. Okay. And there it is, our wind blower, our fan, super duper fan. So this is a huge, so we're going to move the fan over this way. We're going to turn it towards, this is an industrial fan. Okay. And we're going to turn it and then we're going to scale it. I think I'd rather use the parameter scale. No, that's the fan thing. All right, we're going to reset that. We want to, oh, that is the wind node. Okay, what parts do we scale? All right, dForce node, opacity scale, fall off opacity, edge. Okay, wind. All right, strength, diameter, fall off start, length. Let's make sure this is coming straight at it, okay, and that we're kind of, let's bring this up a little bit. All right, here we go. Now we're going to do a simulation here. I better take this out of Iray. Okay, simulate. What happens? Did somebody turn it on? Oh, I might have to select the object that it's going to impact, because it doesn't seem to be doing anything. I might have put this all in the beginning too. Let's see where its parameters are. Yeah, they're all correct. Now we got to go point at plane. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to try that. I don't think we need to point at that. Okay, no, none. I think as long as I tell it what collision. Show edge, edge opacity, diameter. Okay, it's not going to hit anything until, so unless we bring this up like this and down like that. And then okay, how to set up wind. Set up wind node. Create wind node, name the wind node, select the small circle at the start of the wind, select the small circle at the end of the wind. Strength, diameter sets the wind tunnel effect. Okay, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, but let's give it another. All right, let's take our silk, go back to our plane, and give our surface. Let's go with the buckling ratio and bring it more like silk again. And then we go to this, simulate. It's not impacting it at all. Well, it looks like it's blowing up in under here. And this time it didn't like flatten right out. I wonder if I can. There's our fan. All right. Strength. Now let's try again. Simulation. Simulate. Well, you see, look at that. See, there is wind. Because none of the other sides, well, this one does kind of. It's not impacting that for some reason. Here it is. Sacred Sage. Now, I don't want to open somebody else's video because it's not fair to do that. And diameter fall off. Set the number of inner rings, the size of inner rings in the tunnel. Start fall off. Fall off M, the location where the effect starts. dForce, so node located. Okay, wind node. Once the new wind node has been added to your scene, you should see a wireframe object. Okay, that looks like this. Wind direction. Only area of effect. All right, well, we might have to make everything smaller here. Okay, because wind, because this is just everything's too large. So we rewind this to this, and we take our plane, this, and our pole. We create a group, objects group. Then we scale it all down like that. And then we come in a little closer like this. Take our wind object. And we bring this down. 442. 442. Okay. And over a little bit. Now let's see if this works. And that was like the size of the Taj Mahal, you know, kind of thing. If you don't have a person in the scene, like a figure would stand about like that tall here. Like be very short, like. So it's just, you have to think about what scale it is. Like the size of the, what's that building in Manhattan? The Empire State Building, like hanging on the Empire State Building here. Even though that post was only supposed to be about the size of a lamp post, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what I did here. So let's try this. Simulation settings. Simulate. Oh, now it's moving on me. I have to close this. Cancel this. Let's go back here. Let's delete this. Delete. Oh, it's not actually selected. There it is. Delete. Selected keys. Now if I click play. Okay, that's the old. We have to actually re-simulate. It's doing something here. It may only impact what's in that inner. This is the long chamber, I think. I think there's a small. Yeah, so it might have to actually be what's inside that small chamber. No, this is inside the small chamber. That's the large chamber. Okay, let's bring this in a little more. dForce wind node, okay, parameters. Fall off. Okay, fall off length, this one. Because if you make that really long, then it may actually like lower the strength of it. Let's see, I'm not sure. Diameter, like, can you make this like 300? No. So, and the strength is miles, 41 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour. Can you go 100? No. The highest you can go for wind is 50 miles an hour. Okay, so we go and try to simulate this again. I think I'm supposed to, okay, there was some kind of animation there again. I'm not sure what happened. Cancel. I think I just put some more. Delete selected keys. Some things don't let you animate them. We're going to turn this down a little bit like this. We'll bring it up and point it down in. Okay. Turn the light on. Have I got a light here? Let's put a camera in our scene. Create. Okay. We can move around with our camera. Control L, does that give me a light? No. Not yet. It doesn't. Something tells me I need to tell it what it needs to point at. This would be in the parameters of the wind node. We do have a point at, show edge. All we have is a point at here. I wonder if I have to go with my plane and add create a wind like we already have a weight node on this. This is what we added, was that weight node. The only thing that we have, this should all be affected by it, because the only thing that's static is that one part. What would be kind of interesting is to remove the pole and see if we could get this to blow that, like, and just blow it in the wind like a, okay, so if we hide this pole here for a moment and see what happens when the only force that's impacting this is the wind. And now we can try to do a simulation. Now it's because I have that. It's just not working. It's kind of blowing at it, but now it looks like it impacted this a little bit. Because, yeah, that looks like the wind. It's doing something to it, because if otherwise it would have just equally fallen. And we have these wind thrashes here. Or threshes, I don't know, thrashes. And this looks like it's kind of rolled a little bit. So what if we take this, we got to go back to the beginning, and we bring this even closer, like way up. And we take this parameters, and we make it shorter. Wind. Let's try that. Let's give this now a, now it might be because I have it so wide that it's like, if you have something really wide, it takes much more force to, so if we do the diameter of our wind here. Okay, and the strength, let's bring the strength up some more. Let's try this again now. You know, for silk, it should, oh, my camera's animated now. I might have just messed that up again too. So, all right, let's take a look and see what we've done here with our animation parameters. When I go back here, yeah, the fall off went large, okay, and then went small. Okay, I have a few other items here. This right here, the camera. Let's delete the camera. And what is the other thing here? The wind node. It looks like it's kind of blowing on it, but not like it should. All right, let's delete the wind node and put another one in. And this time we're not going to mess with it. We're just going to put it straight in the way it is. Wind node. Let's go to the beginning here. Create. I've had trouble with the wind node before. I tried to blow some hair one time. Let's just leave it this way, but we're going to pull it back here. This is the front, I guess. Yes, that makes logical sense. And we'll take the wind node. We will point it down a little bit, like this. And let's move it up a little more. Oh, this won't impact that unless I put this in here, like that. I forget about that. Okay. Now let's go to our simulation. Simulate. Oh, my cameras. I should not have put this camera in the scene. It looks like it's blowing on it again, but okay. Take the camera out. We'll use we'll just use the perspective view of this. You can't accidentally wind force, okay. You can't accidentally animate the perspective view. Okay. What are we looking at here? Okay, so now we have this new force. Okay, collision. Okay, this is dForce. Simulation. There's somewhere in here is a collision item. Plane. dForce wind. Okay. Let's see what happens when okay, we're going to give it some more strength, which would be here. Strength. And I'm going to leave these the way they are. And let's give that a render. Simulate. I know it works with cloth because I've seen flag ones that were just used with, and this is just a plane. Okay, rewind. Well, I have to do more research on this, so I'm not going to take up any more time doing something that's not working. Camera, headlamp. We don't have a camera in the scene. Now I could bring up the quality of this. We have the play range is plenty enough for that to simulation. So we go back to surfaces. Let's see. We go to dForce model. Okay, plane. Okay, we have all of these things here for visible simulation on. Collision layer. Self collide is on. Okay, this wind node, I have just had horrible luck with the wind thing. You'd think it would just blow it straight across, you know? It's like simulation. Use initialization time. Iterations per subframe. All of this looks collision mode. Let's try best. Per subframe. Let's bring this up high. Collision iterations per subframe. This is going to make this go crazy. Oh, shoot. I just put them. I hope that those are not animatable. No. Okay. That works. Simulate. This is going to take a long time to animate now. It should have had more impact on the cloth than it did, and then I've dragged that up to be... Okay, look at this now. This is interesting. We got this kind of trench it's dug. It's definitely doing something here because none of these other areas have this. So I think we're going to see a little more impact from this in this particular animation. It's not what I was thinking. It's not at all what I would expect Silk to do. I would expect Silk to just pick right up and go flying, you know, and be like it would be like a finger holding on to that second section there and that just flying in the wind and kind of doing this kind of Silk thing. This is not at all. Oh, maybe I don't know, maybe the gravity's too high. I did set it back down to 0. I turned them all back to like, and so it should emulate like real world gravity. It's not like a high gravity environment. But it's doing something. This is something here. It's just not what I would have expected. And we can stop this here, because it's not really doing what I... So, okay, we've got something. We've got the only side that has wind is this side, and it's doing something here. But this is just saying, no, I'm too I'm like a heavy mat or something. And so we're going to go back here to our plane, and let's go to surfaces, go to this surface adjuster. Okay, whatever this, maybe there's more to it than just that one. I wonder how high this can go. Silkier. Adjust, I think this is probably it. Oh, and we have expand and stretch. That's kind of interesting. Let's add a little bit of stretch to it. That's cool. Accept. Oh, it changed a bunch of stuff. Well, when on the stretch one. Stiffness. And what was the high one? Where was that dynamic strength? Buckling ratio is at 100%. But now these ones, bend stiffness is... shear stiffness, quad stretch stiffness. All right, let's give this now, let's take that back down a little bit. So I don't want it to take forever like that. So we'll go to better. And then we'll bring these iterations per subframe, we'll bring them back down to the reset value. We'll bring it up a little bit, like 12. Simulate. No, it's just not doing hardly anything at all. It's laying on the ground like it's silk, but it's not impacting that at all. All right. Well, I am not going to waste any more of your time. Basically, you guys get the idea of how this, guys and gals, you get the idea of how this kind of works. How it should work, you know, it should blow this. It's not, and the same with hair. When you're doing something, if you have somebody falling through the sky, the way sometimes to do the fall through the sky is to have them fall face first and then flip them around and just let the gravity do their hair. But you do have wind to do it. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell you that a lot of times when you blow the wind on their hair, you figure, well, I'll just turn the blower so it goes this way, and their hair just still does the same thing every time. It's so it's something really worth playing around with and learning how to use and everything. And obviously, I haven't. I do know a little bit about it, but there's something I'm doing wrong. It just doesn't seem. This, I just made it more silkier. You would think it's not impacting this at all. So there's something I'm doing wrong. Once I do this, I'm not going to get my hopes up that all of a sudden it's going to just start working and flying like crazy, because I've tried this before, and now on a plane it might work because you can set that plane to be as fine as you want. But with hair, you're kind of stuck with the hair being the resolution that it comes with. And even though you can add sub D to it, it still has some basic geometry it has to go by. It's never a waste of time with a generous person sharing their time. Thank you, Rex. Happy birthday, and please play your polka music when you close your video. Thank you. Here we go. We're going to close right here with some polka here. Oh, there's one of them here. There we go. I'm gonna get up and do a little jig for y'all here today. Woo! All right. Thank you very much, people, for being here, and thank you. Angus is the one who inspires all this polka in me. So yeah, Angus is my polka friend. So okay, what was that again? And there is the Sigmund. And say goodbye, Sigmund. Bye. Oh, that was nice, Sigmund. That is the Sigmund theme. So, yes, Angus is definitely the governor, the president, the prime minister. Yes, Angus is the polka man, the king of the polka time. So, thank you very much, people. Yeah, I'm gonna come back, okay? I promise that the next tutorial I could raise this up, but you would think, okay, let's see, would have to go. I'll do one more simulation for you, Art, okay? We'll give it one more try. We're gonna raise up our wind thing like this and pull it back a little bit. And we'll bring up our object group. We're going to leave the plane down on the bottom, and we'll bring this plane up like this. And it will still not impact. I mean, it still will hold that place where I'm holding it. Wherever I put that, it will stay. So let's give this one more simulation and see what happens here. See, it's just really not impacting this. So there's something I'm doing wrong, and all I have to do is watch one video. I just don't think it's fair to watch other people's videos, or play them during my I need to do my homework before I do this stuff. So, yeah, this is silk. It should pick that up, and the force of this fan should be much higher than the force of gravity, okay? And it's bearing right down, and the whole thing that they say is that this has to be within the tunnel, and you can see this is definitely within the tunnel. Let's bring the tunnel down a little more, okay? And then we'll try again. One more simulation. I wish this would work for us. So, oh, I animated it. We got to take and let's cancel this. We'll do two more. All right, so we're going to take this and delete that key. The dForce wind, delete this. Okay, and we'll break it back to 0, and then we'll bring this down. Oh, so it's impacting like the side of it. Okay, make sure we're correct here. Yeah. Now it should fall in through it, and it should push it. This dForce has got a pretty powerful setting. I've got the strength up to 41. Let's make the diameter of our thing a little bigger so that it blows more, I guess. And let's make it longer. Oh, okay. The start. All right, this, I think it impacts what's in here. And this is when the wind, this length is where the wind falls off. Okay? And so in this area here, it should have full strength on it. Okay, so there's something I'm doing wrong. I have a feeling that I need to tell this object or tell this object what it's supposed to be impacting. And I don't see where that is. Is there something eluding me? Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's do one more thing with our plane. Let's go back to surfaces and make sure it's still set to silkier. Okay, surface adjuster. Oh, I don't know why we lost our silkier. But let's do this again. Let's go up to, you should be able to click in here and like put a number, but I guess you just have to click. Okay, 30. Nudge. Okay, this is stiffer, silkier, so this should be it. And we click accept. And then we go, maybe I've got to go like into 200 or something. I don't know. But our buckling ratio is bend stiffness, our buckling ratio, and then none of these are, so it's got to be the collision layer. Let's bring this up. Collision layer. Okay. And let's see what we have now. Simulate. Okay, it's blowing a little bit there. A little bit. We made it a little silkier. And it's pushing it now. So maybe it's this collision. Okay, we'll cancel that. We'll try a couple more things. The collision mesh resolution will go. Well, I don't think I can bring that up, but let's go with this collision per subframe. Iterations per subframe. Okay, let's try this now. Clear. I just pushed that. I hope that didn't animate that. No, it didn't. Okay, so let's clear this and resimulate. When you clear it, you'd think it would bring it back to 0. Okay, now it's going kind of slow. I don't think it's going to want to, it may not even let me cancel. So I will look into this. All it's going to take me is to watch one video from somebody who knows how to really do this. So wow, we just had one iteration. So it's got to go through, I get it. Every iteration, it's got to go through 700 subframes or something. And then it'll go, another iteration, another frame. So, you would think it would still have the ability to blow the geometry, even if it was like gigantic squares. It would have enough to do to blow them that way. Well, this is going to do it. Yeah, Kelvin Jin, I've probably watched every tutorial of every person on, and not from this world. I've watched that. I've watched those. I watched pretty much everything I can get my hands on for these things. You know, I'll watch them if I feel like I'm learning something. If I just all of a sudden I get into a tutorial that I just like, gosh, everything in this tutorial I already know, then I'm not gonna stick around for it. But so I can usually tell if it's gonna be something that I really kind of don't know. And if it's something I don't know, then I save it, I put it in a folder, and I keep track of the videos that that I learn stuff from. So this is called, if you want to learn more about this, this is called the dForce wind node, okay? And that's this apparatus here. Now, it's blowing on this. It's just not blowing like I kind of expected it to. This is set to silk. It should blow on it a little bit more than it is. It is blowing on it, so it's working. It's just not working like I kind of expected it to. I expected it to just, at some point you could blow it so hard it would just go straight up in the wind and go straight back, It would defy the gravity and go back because the wind force would be so strong. I'm not sure what's up with this now. And also this makes me think, are there scripts that you can buy in the Daz store that add on to this wind node and allow you to do other things with the wind node that you can't do in Daz Studio? That is something to look into and see if there's like the wind node helper or something, things that you can find to do other stuff. This is definitely blowing on this. So that's not the problem, because I can see the impact of this wind. This would not have any of this curve if it was just gravity. As you know, it would perfectly go down in every angle. So it's impacting it. It's just not impacting it enough. And there might be something just like dampness or the gravity might be too high. If I just turn the gravity off, I might be able to get more of a, of an effect from this. So, and I think, Art, you kind of hit on that, because bringing it up higher gave us a little bit of freedom from the gravity. It took us a little further away from the center of the earth that's pulling at it. And so in a way, you just kind of hit on the fact that that gravity is probably the culprit here. So, but it's definitely being affected by this fan here. So, all right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, people. And thank you for your time. Your time is so precious to me, coming in and hanging out with me. Yeah, you're helping my channel immensely. Watch the beginning of this tutorial. I talked to you about how to set up Hexagon, set it up properly so it works right on your system. I go through it pretty much in very good detail, so that you are able to use the new, well, it's not that new, but it's the Hexagon 64-bit beta. If you plan to do anything in Hexagon, it will not work unless you have the beta going. You have a great weekend too, Art. And thank you very much, everybody. And we're going to go out with Sigmund's polka theme. So, all right, you guys are all the best. And guys and gals, love you much, very much. It's Rex Red saying so long for now. We got some wind going on here. We got something going on. So I think it's a matter of figuring out a few of the refinements. It's definitely hitting this, okay? So, all right. Take care. Rex Red saying so long. Angus, Art, and we also had beautiful. I've been through Virginia. It's a very beautiful state. Anus, we had Anus here. We had Habib, and of course Angus. Very nice. Thank you, people, for being here. And Art, my dear friend, you are beautiful. Take care and enjoy the beautiful sunset you are having there in lovely Virginia. Okay. Yes, enjoy the weather out there. We had a nice day today, but as you can see, I spent it inside helping you guys out and helping me out. This helps me out too, because when I do these tutorials, I am able to learn myself, and I can go back if I forget how to do things, which I do. I can go back. Yes, we got Angus and Anus and Habib and Art. Always a pleasure as well here, Art. Thank you. Take care, everyone. I will see you again in the next EZ3DTV video. All right. It's so nice to have input, to have people around, and to do this. I would be so sad to have to do all this just alone. So thank you, people. You make my channel a good place. All right. A awesome, fun place. See you soon again. Come back again and hang with me. Thank you for hanging out till the end. We got 4 awesome people here. I love you very much. Bye-bye.